What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And once again, we see evidence that Kathleen Kennedy and the people over at Lucasfilm don't have any earthly idea what in the hell they're doing with Star Wars.
What am I gonna do?
You would think that by now, with all of the wishy-washy decision-making that they have done over the past several years, announcing projects, then canceling those projects, announcing more projects, and then canceling those, you would think that the geniuses over at Lucasfilm would learn not to announce anything new until they have at least a finalized script that's ready to go. But they keep walking into this trap of their own making. Once again, we have a movie that they were proudly trotting out to the public, getting pushed back, and it looks like it's going to be canceled.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Because you're stupid.
You may remember that last year they announced a few new movies slated to come out, including a movie featuring Rey. Earlier this year, there was a big media push for this movie with director Charmin Obaid-Chnoy talking about how excited they were to make the film. Meanwhile, there was no freaking script.
You can't fix stupid.
The movie was supposed to start filming this last spring, but there was no script, and now they finally fired the writer for this thing the other day, presumably because he couldn't get a script put out, and now it looks as though Disney is throwing in the towel on this movie. It has been removed from the lineup when it was supposed to come out in December of 2026. The media will insist that the film isn't getting the axe, but let's be real here. If past performance is any indication of the future, they will quietly discontinue the movie, and Disney won't talk about it again until years down the road when they blame it not being made on the sexist Star Wars fans.
He did it. What?
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter, where my handle on that platform is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyhow, Star Wars really needs to stop doing this, where they announce projects that never get made, because at this point, the fandom is getting completely desensitized to it. At this point, most of us just assume that the likelihood is that whenever they announce something, it just won't end up being made. These guys remind me of that guy who always talks about writing a novel because he has a brilliant idea, but he just never gets around to it. That being said, naturally, we can also assume that any idea Disney had for Star Wars was definitionally not brilliant, because the only brilliant idea that they've had for a story so far, The Mandalorian, which came from Jon Favreau, that idea has been ransacked by corporate greed and commoditized to the point that it is already barely recognizable. It's astonishing how quickly Disney speed ran the Mandalorian IP to the end stage. They went from fresh and exciting to played out and oversaturated in less than 5 years. That is wild, even for a corporate greed machine like Disney. But in any event, it's funny that just the other day, Rey was being called the most valuable cinematic asset of Star Wars, which is laughable as hell. Apparently, we can all forget about our connections, our deep personal connections that we feel with the likes of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Darth Maul. Hell, we can even forget the Mandalorian and Grogu. The most valuable character in Star Wars is apparently Rey, because reasons. Most likely because Kathleen Kennedy proclaimed it from on high. But basically, we are watching my prediction from the other day play out in real time. I don't care what the Access Media and Disney are saying out loud. When we heard that they fired the writer for the Rey movie, I said that the movie won't get made. They will scrap it and put Rey into this new trilogy of films that was just announced the other day, and so here we are with this news. This article from Variety says, Disney has removed an untitled Star Wars film previously scheduled for December 18th, 2026 from its release calendar. Ice Age 6 will move into its spot, but let's all be real here. Everyone knew that the movie scheduled in December of 2026 was the Rey movie. They can try to be coy here all they want and act like we didn't know what that movie was, but come on. They just fired the writer for this planned movie just a few days ago, and now they're moving this unannounced movie from December 18th, 2026 to God knows when. But anyhow, while it was never confirmed exactly what this project would be, Charmin Obaid-Chnoy was previously announced as the director of an upcoming Star Wars film following Daisy Ridley's Rey after the events of 2019's Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. The film lost screenwriter Stephen Knight earlier this year after Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson previously departed the project. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said at last year's Star Wars celebration that Ridley's new film would follow Rey as she builds a new Jedi Order. Well, I think maybe next time you ought to keep your mouth shut there, Kathleen, until you actually have a script for a movie. Because otherwise, you just keep making an ass of yourself. Star Wars movies used to be special. Hell, I'd go so far as to say that for the majority of the fan base, they would have called Star Wars movies sacred when they came out. It was a sacred event for us. But now, it feels like a new Star Wars movie or show gets announced every other month, and the collective response from everyone is to simply yawn. Nobody cares anymore. Between the fact that by now a vast majority of these projects never get put together, and the fact that what few projects do come out are absolutely littered with terrible writing, between all of that, people are apathetic to whatever Star Wars is bringing to the table. That's why I always expected Star Wars Outlaws to sell like shit this past summer, and for Star Wars The Acolyte to do so poorly on Disney Plus that they would cancel it right away like they did. The franchise is just played out. They injected identitarian bullshit into it, and now that's all they're left with. That and a decaying husk of nostalgia that this soulless corporation has picked over like a greedy vulture. But there's nothing left. Apathy kills franchises. In any case, I'm going to leave it there. Drop some mockery of Kathleen Kennedy into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.